The program presented or submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNNY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNNY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Good morning and God bless you. We are having a fantastic Friday here at KNLY 91.1 The Boss. I'm your host of today's show, today's entrepreneur. I have a wonderful guest here with me sharing this morning. Her name is Cassandra Mays. She is the owner, founder, sole proprietor. She's running this thing called Salt Remedy. Come on and introduce yourself and tell people who you are and tell them about your business and your brand.
Yes, so I'm Cassandra Mays, and I own Salt Remedy. We are a holistic therapy spa, and so we are here to help people with their symptoms that they have from, allergies, asthma, skin issues like eczema, psoriasis, and I'm just excited to be on the show today.
So how did you get over, and I know when people hear the word holistic, some people are, I don't even know the word I want to use. I don't want to say afraid, but they don't have the understanding or the knowledge of certain things. And so when people don't know, they either shy away from what they don't know. They have a lot of questions. Some people become intrigued or curious. But what have been some of the responses you've gotten when you say Salt Remedy?
Salt Remedy. Well, first of all, what's funny is some people think that we're selling cooking salts. But what we're using is pure salt to help in the healing process. And so when you started asking your question, I was thinking skeptical. We get a lot of skeptical people.
Good word, yeah.
Because where we are is, or where we've been in America as far as dealing with our ailments and everything, is you go to the doctor and they give you a pill and then you're better. And so we're used to kind of the pills, if you will. There is a time and a place for medical care. I've had to have it myself, and there's a reason to do that. But I also think that there are other alternative medicines that are, and when we talk about holistic, we kind of mean, the whole being, and that can include your body, mind, and soul.
Correct.
And so in holistic, all natural practices, we are using the things that God gave us on the earth to help our bodies heal themselves.
Wow. What inspired you? I'm always intrigued by what motivates or what becomes someone's passion. What motivated you to get over into this particular area, which we don't hear much about? I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about Salt Remedy, though it may exist. You're the first that I met at the NIA Network in Action with Stacey Harris. And if you all are not familiar with the overall concept of networking, Biz Connect,
so
Network in Action, very big supporters of KNLY 91.1 The Boss. Make me feel like I got fans. So that's how I met you. But how did you, what motivated you to start this company?
Well, there's a lot of answers to that, a lot of backstories. I'll give you a really brief backstory and then why I chose this industry. The backstory is I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. So I've had the entrepreneurial spirit my whole life. And it just never was, it was a dream. And it was never anything that came to fruition until, and this is how we got into this particular business, is my daughter, my adult daughter, has allergies and asthma. And her whole life, I had her at the allergist at 6 weeks old. She was born and raised in this area. And she would get very, very sick throughout her life. And a few years ago, she had graduated college, gotten married, moved to another city here in Texas, and had a bad attack. And I pretty much got the call that said, you know what, my life sucks. It's over with. There's nothing that's going to help my allergies. So of course, a lot of things pulled, on my heart. As a mother, I wanted to help her. But also, my family has always been into trying to take care of ourselves in a healthy way. And so it all kind of came together. And like I said, there's a lot of backstories. We could talk for hours and hours. But to kind of sum it up, at that point, my husband and I started praying about maybe my entrepreneurial moment was coming, and we felt like he had led us to this, and so here we are.
You know, there's a scripture that says that he'll give us witty inventions. Not only give us witty inventions, but the power and the ability to get wealth. But I love when God gives us something that benefits others. And that's what I tell people often, is that we were created with other people in mind. And so Salt Remedy was created and born with other people in mind. The catalyst, or what fueled it, was your daughter.
Right.
And so I love to hear stories and testimonies of what sparked, because some people jump into business and jump into different areas when we talk about careers or jobs by the pressure of others. Some people love the what comes with it. But when you realize that it's bigger than you, this is my overall purpose, this is my passion. I was sharing with them in our focus group meeting this morning that wherever your passion is, that's where your peace is. You're going to find your peace in your passion. And so when you consider what you do, and I'm excited because I'm coming to your event. I'm going to let you share that in a moment. And let you give me some treatments and let me see how this thing really works. But what's next for Salt Remedy and for Cassandra Mays?
What is next for Salt Remedy? Well, it goes back to my passion, and my passion I have the gift of helps.
Okay.
Whether it's in Salt Remedy or just in my whole life. My sisters who are listening now like to say I'm bossy, and it's because I take over and I like to help people be well. So what's next for us is just, my husband says we are preaching the salt gospel. We are the only therapy spot, or we're the only salt room that's all we do in the Houston area. And we want to help all of Houston. So that's kind of a big picture plan.
Well, we're called to be the salt of the earth. Now, I'm going to bail you out, Cassandra, because I know how family and friends can be, and you've made two statements that you're going to hear about later. So let me backdoor and cover you and help you out just a little bit. You mentioned your daughter, but you didn't say her name. You're going to hear that one.
Okay.
You mentioned your girlfriends that are watching, and your girlfriend said, this was your moment to give me my shout out, and you ain't say nothing.
Are you going to give me a chance?
Hey, I'm trying to help you out. You better tell them. You better say, hey, look, girls, thank you all for watching or something, because they listening.
Okay. Hey, Adrian, that is my beautiful daughter in Michigan. Yes, she is a Youper with my one and only granddaughter and my wonderful son-in-law. My sisters are Christina Pope and Tyler and Cynthia Atherton in Arlington, and I think my mom, Della Clark. And Tyler is also listening. And then all my girlfriends around here. So I could just say Vicky, Pam, Kitty, Linda, Tracy, Cara, and on and on. So you guys know who you are, and I love you all, and thank you for your support.
You know, when you started saying Linda, I was about to say, listen, Linda. So I want you to, I wanted you to do that because that's the support system.
Absolutely.
And we all need a support system in reference to doing business. And not just business, but someone that comes along or come alongside us, rally. I tell people you need somebody at the end of the day with some pom-poms.
Yeah.
That's cheering you on. And so what motivates you outside of wanting to help others, outside of being an entrepreneur? What really motivates you? Because there has to be an end thing that says, you know what, I do this. And I tell people when you're in what you're called to do, there's no price tag to it.
Yeah.
So what really motivates Cassandra daily?
Well, what motivates Cassandra is that, first of all, I am a believer. And so I just believe it's a day by day, God, what do you have for me to do? And he's just directing my steps. So he keeps me motivated. My second biggest cheerleader besides you is actually my husband, Kyle Mays. And he is just a wonderful support, and he knows how passionate I am about this. And he is my co-owner of the business, but he has his own business he has to run. But he just, the other day, he just again sat down and said, what do I need to do to help you with the business? What do you need from me right now? So he is my biggest supporter. And back to being a Christian, he tells me, he says, girl, it's God's business, so you just do what he says. But like you said, the friends and the family, and then all my new friends that I've met through networking, the business community around here, you guys, is incredible. And I have so many new friends who love me and want to see us succeed. So that's some of the motivators.
You know, I've said this before. Just because people clap doesn't mean they applaud you.
Right.
And when you have people that celebrate you and they encourage you and they motivate you, that is the core that becomes the fuel in the tank. I don't know if you're familiar with Gary Chapman. He has a book called The 5 Love Languages. And there are times we get depleted in areas. And so when we have all of those, you know, people in our lives that has the ability to come alongside, encourage us, motivate us, because being an entrepreneur can be challenging and discouraging all in the same breath. So what have been some of those discouraging moments that you don't mind sharing while being a business owner and knowing that God gave you the vision and you're wanting to see, you know, you want to see the big picture, but you've already started running? What are some of those challenges?
The challenges are just helping people understand this concept. You said it yourself. You've never heard of this before. And what's really interesting is the history of this goes back to the mid-1800s, so it is proven. But it is new in this area. So my biggest challenge, and where I can get discouraged sometimes, is when I just can't help people understand. You know, I get a little impatient. I'm Greek. We don't have a lot of patience, and sometimes that shows through. That can be discouraging. The other people can be discouraging. I've had ugly things said to me, to my face. And, you know, I just have to stick by what I believe and just, you know, just know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and keep going. So that's been discouraging. I don't know, you know, slow times in business, we all have it. And so I just need to kind of take a step back and look at the big picture and say, okay, there's slow times in business and there's times of plenty, and we've experienced them both. So I think it's perspective when I get discouraged and I have to step back and look at the big picture and go, you know, this is not about me. It's God's using me as the face, and I'm just doing what he tells me to do. And as long as I do that, then I want to say he's successful by using me. It's not about me. It's about me obeying him.
You know, I tell people God never seeds in us anything that he doesn't facilitate. If he initiated this, he facilitates it. He literally has all the doors, all the relationships, everything that we need. But people fear what they don't understand. That's the first thing. I think for me, and I think for all of the entrepreneurs, and you don't have to be an entrepreneur to have voices. Voices that tell you you're not enough. Voices that tell you you're failing at something, or voices that remind you of your past. And so we all have those things that we contend with on a day-to-day basis. But silencing the voices, like we talked about it coming on, that you literally had to silence those voices to prepare and remind yourself that what you have, somebody else may not agree. Somebody else may not see the value in it. But I want you to know, one, you're enough. Two, you already contribute so much, not just through Salt Remedy, just your overall existence, your overall presence, and what you bring to the table, to the people that I've met you through, or the people that I've heard communicate things about Cassandra Mays. And they didn't talk about Salt Remedy, they talked about you. And so in you being who you are and doing what it is that you're called to do, I applaud you and I celebrate Salt Remedy. I can't wait to see how it's going to work, because I get, you know, since I moved to Houston from Atlanta, I get those skin things, and I'm like, what is all this stuff coming up? So I want you to have the opportunity to share with them. You have an event coming up, Networking Action. You have an event coming up on next week, correct? Is it
Thursday, July the 18th.
Okay. And then also how they can get in contact with you, Facebook, Instagram, any information that you want to share with our listeners.
Okay, so our event, we're having, it's a coffee from 9 to 11 a.m. on Thursday, July the 18th, and it's at Salt Remedy. Our address is 2330 FM 1488 Suite 200. We're just 2.5 miles off of the Interstate 45. And it is a Network in Action sponsored event, but guests are invited. And it's a great chance to come and network and to also come and see what we do. So that's our big event coming up. We have a big Facebook presence, so just look for Salt Remedy The Woodlands. And you can like our page. We use that a lot to get what we're doing out there, and we do a lot of community events. We have an Instagram page, and we have a Twitter page. I'm still trying to learn Twitter, so we're not real active there, but hopefully we'll be getting active there.
Listen, if you are curious, you're intrigued, you want to know, connect with Cassandra Mays, Salt Remedy. Let her help you with your allergies. You listen, the medicine is not always the out.
Right.
There are other solutions, and so I want you to take full advantage of all of the people that God allows us to bring on this platform. And once again, it is Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. I am your host, Orlando Daniels, with KNOY 91.1, The Boss, today's entrepreneur. You all be blessed. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much,
I'm tickled
Cassandra.
pink to be here.